All right, so everyone, we're getting set up. As you know, or maybe you don't know, but I am Tiana Smith with tianasmithcoaching.com and the Seven Figure Club. And today I'm so excited. I have a special guest who's one of our newest Seven Figure Club team members. This is Wyatt.
Nice to meet you.
And how do I say your last name correctly, Wyatt?
It's Kasim.
Casson. That's a cool name. Wyatt Scott Casson. I like it. So, Wyatt is joining us. We're teleworking together in the Nashville, Tennessee area, right?
That's correct. Sorry, I had some traffic go by.
Right. It's okay. Traffic's okay. We're all working here. Sometimes like yesterday when I was going live, my window washer came literally, oh, there's my AI, right as I was beginning and it was like squeak, squeak. I'm like, right now.
Gosh,
So today we're going to be talking to everybody about the Seven Figure Club. You know, we're doing this 5-day boot camp with the grand finale this Friday, and we definitely need to put the Zoom registration in the comments today. So we'll be adding that later because that's our really official. We're going to walk you through the 3 funnels and systems you need in depth with slides and everything. And this week we're doing this lead up in our Facebook group and to share with people what pieces you really need to grow a 6-figure and then a 7-figure brand. And so Wyatt has been helping companies, clients, celebrities for years, same as me, but he has his own journey. And today I'm excited that we're going to be talking together about luxury branding, as well as giving you some case studies of people we've worked with, how we set up their brands, and why it matters. So press the number 1 in the comments if you're excited. And Wyatt, do you have anything to say about branding in general before we dive in?
branding is one of the most important things that you can focus on when starting out your company. It is, the first impression you make on your clients or
Yeah.
just any of your audience. So
Yeah,
it's
it's just so important, right? We both come from the music business background, and we were talking to our other team members about this. Like the reason I think that there's a lot of really great branding experts from the entertainment business, the music business, is it's a creative field. So you want to have fonts and colors that represent your brand, but when you're creative, you also want to be unique. So
absolutely.
do you think we'll be helping them today kind of be like, well, what's your unique brand voice, but how do you still communicate that with clarity in an oversaturated market?
Absolutely.
We're gonna get to do it. So I'm gonna share my screen. We do have a few pictures from our playbook that is for our VIP clients. We're gonna be sharing that with you today, as I promised behind the scenes. We're gonna treat you like you're our paying clients, and then we're going to share with you guys some of our favorite brands and even brands we've designed, and show you how you can start to think about that for you. And so if you want to put any questions in the comments, we'll come back through and do that. And also let us know where you're tuning in from. Where are you located in the world? We have a very our team is in different places currently, and we're hoping to get all brought together soon. But we'd love to know where you're coming in from and also what you do in business, because we are reading every comments. We are going to be responding, and this is a live event. So we want to get your feedback so we can really help you during this process. So, okay. So let's share our screen and let's start with behind the scenes on the playbook. And we kind of want to walk you through, luxury branding, why it matters. So if you guys can let us know in the comments, put a number 2, or Brandon, if you can also message me that you can see and hear me and see my screen. And Wyatt, can you see the screen correctly?
Yeah, I can see everything.
Okay, fantastic. So I'm going to scroll down and we're going to just talk about why branding matters, why it has done work with people like the Rolling Stone and Jelly Roll, Andy Grammer. And today we'll get to talk about it. What is the band name that we're going to show them today?
All American Rejects,
All American Rejects.
which, I'm sure if you're anywhere between the ages of 18 to 40, you've definitely heard of that band.
Yep, for sure. You know, me and my 21-year-old self, no, I'm just kidding. I'm on the 42-year-old range. Proud of it. A lot of great music has come out in my time. So the truth is this, and everybody can hold up the number 2, and I know Wyatt knows this too. You get 2 seconds. Everybody put a number 2 and write 2 seconds. So you write it. Yeah, 2, which is also peace, like peace. Hey. Anyway, 2 seconds is all you get to grab somebody's attention, and that is just not long. And I think what I've seen and why you can let me know too, I think people assume too much. You need to understand that, like, pretend
Absolutely.
nobody knows who you are, and you get 2 seconds. What do you think about that, Wyatt? Have you
Yeah,
seen people assume too much?
totally. I've also seen people just assume that every person who comes to their site or their profile is going to look at everything, which is
Yeah.
definitely not the case.
No. It's not at all. And even in the 2 seconds, I wouldn't say you wanna help people even discover more. You want to give them, if it's your website, you need that quick thing, like, they should wanna click on your lead offer immediately. That's why you need it on that first window, and we'll talk about that.
You have
And
to
then if it's right? If it's on social media, well, then you want them to at least just press like in 2 seconds. Like, it's literally that fast of a reaction, which means they're really not reading much. It's about the imagery, the colors, and the vibe that you're giving off, which has to be intentional. This isn't just going to come together.
they can tell if they're actually going to trust your brand over those 2 seconds just off of what they perceive visually.
Yep. And that's the thing where people could say, "Well, they don't know me." Okay? So you guys can all fight the system of human nature, or you could just be like, "Okay, this is human nature and I'm going to play the game and I am a good person and I am authentic and do offer value. So how do I then create a brand that looks good so that people will then take more time to learn about me?" But you got to assume they don't know anything. I kind of compare it sometimes, Wyatt, to like, if you were going on a first date, let's say you asked out because you're engaged, right?
I am.
Congrats, preparing for a wedding. Like, if you asked out your lovely lady and it's your first date, are you not showing up as your best self visually?
Definitely. Every time.
Every time, absolutely. Even to this day, when my husband asks me on a date and we know we're actually going out, it's not just like, well, let's get pizza after the gym. Like, if he's like, let's go on a date, man, I'm dressed up.
Yeah.
I'm dressed up for my man. And people need to understand, like, you really need to dress up for your people because they're judging you, even subconsciously. Like, we're not trying to be mean people here, and neither are they. Like, yes, there's some trolls. We're not talking about trolls. We're talking about just human nature. We are all drawn to beauty. We are all, and beauty is different. We're going to give you guys some different, actually, let's run them through a few different vibes, like, just to overview it. Like, I love Christo. So we were talking about this guy. He's so cool. This is a different brand than, I also love Cat Corroy, right? They're different, but they're both beautiful. They're both attractive, is what I would say. So humans are drawn to attractiveness, and attractive is in beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But either way, we know that both these brands tried and they're
Yeah.
being intentional. What do you think about that?
Yeah. You can tell that there's an attention to detail between both of them and they know what lane they're in.
Right. Absolutely. So when we come back to, like, running you guys through this, we want you to let's talk about some brands that you probably have seen before. Over here on the left is, like, those high-end luxury brands, like top of the top, Louis Vuitton, Tesla, Gucci, Chanel, Dior. If I put Lamborghini over here or things like that, I can say the words. And even if the logos weren't here, this is the power of a logo though. But it's also a brand, because not only are you thinking of these people's logos as you go through this list, you're thinking about an experience that each of these brands will give you. We were giggling before the call. I'm like, these guys were giggling. I'll say laughing just to help all the men on my team. We were laughing a little, smiling, grinning, because I was like, well, if you think of Walmart, it is a much different experience than Gucci. In fact, I think it's a much different experience than, like, Target. You and it's not, and they have strong brands. All of these are strong brands, but the experience they give their consumers is very different, right?
The brand positioning is different. The overall feel that they want to give to their demographics are different.
Right. And it's intentional. It is not an accident. Even Walmart even has it right here: save money, live better. Okay, like, we know a Kia car is going to cost a different amount because it costs a different amount to make than a Tesla, right?
Yeah.
We know that Apple products, if I put a PC up here, I didn't even dare. No, I don't even know if you use PCs. I use all Apple products. Anyway, but whatever products we all use, like you're going to have that different experience, right? There's even that whole war with the green versus blue text on Androids and Apple products. So there is a war of brands sometimes, but from a consumer and just for us to bring intentionality, like any of my ladies out there and even men, my husband and my son both love Lululemon now. Like they're like, it is so comfortable. Wyatt, have you tried Lululemon yet?
I actually have not.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to change that. I'm putting it on my to-do list. I'm like, Brandon, listening. I'm like, all the men on my team, I'm going to have to purchase some Lululemon for you guys as some bonuses. So Lululemon, no, it really is just so soft. Once you feel it on your skin, it's hard to go back, right? Like once I
But you
started
can't go
wearing,
back.
you can't go. Okay, so that's the thing about luxury. There's this great guy. Actually, he's a great. I'm gonna bring him up real quick. His name's Ramit Sethi. He talks about this. I do recommend following him. He has a thing called "I Will Teach You to Be Rich." Also, great branding. He's always on brand. He has a great Netflix show, so you can see on Netflix. It's called "I Will Teach You to Be Rich." This is how you guys can follow it online. He's got a blog. He's had books for years. He has a great podcast, and he has Instagram. So the point though is, besides him having great branding, is he talks about how like once you start experiencing luxury, like be careful because it's hard to go back. Once you've stayed in a luxury home, it's difficult to not live in one. Once you've traveled first class, you don't want to be in coach. So he says, like, choose the areas of your life that you want to invest in. And what I really want to tell all of you is if you want to play in this world online, you must invest in a luxury brand. You must. And luxury again does not mean that maybe you do want to serve people at a JC Penney level, but JC Penney's brand is still a multi-million, if not billion-dollar brand, right? So who runs the business doesn't necessarily mean like if you sell $30 products, that doesn't mean your brand should look like $30. Like Walmart sells cheap products, but they have a corporate, they have all these different businesses, they have all these different people running it. You've got to run your business like a brand and you must get intentional about this. It's just the way it is. Because with the click of a button, people can go to any website. You are truly in competition with everybody. So in order to stand out, your brand needs to look a certain way. Now, I
You're not
want to,
always, oh,
yeah, go
sorry.
ahead, Wyatt.
You're not always necessarily in competition for like the exact same customers,
Right.
but you are in competition for the attention span of whoever's looking at your video or your, post, whatever it might be.
Yeah, Sabri Sobi, I love quoting him, but he talks about this a lot. Like the number one thing that all of us are in competition with is just people's attention right now. So it's when you have something that looks good and it also saves you a lot of time because when you've got your Canva brand kit and you've got your fonts and you've got your colors, you don't have to keep guessing what you're posting and how you're doing it because you're like, okay, here's my system. It's kind of like an organized home. If you know where everything is, it's actually way easier to get dressed every morning. It's way easier to do things. And that's what we do for our clients in the Seven Figure Club is we help you create the luxury fonts, the colors, the vibe, the feelings based on your in particular brand. And then you have that as this system. So you don't need to guess every day, like, what am I wearing? We love to wear black on the Seven Figure Club, clearly. It's easy. So, we want to draw your attention to how do these pictures make you feel? And obviously, there's a top and there's a bottom level. And so if you looked at this image right here on the left, and I'll zoom in a little bit more, how would this make you feel? Like even if you were on a 16-hour flight, do you think this would make you feel a certain way? How would it make you feel, Wyatt? Oh, I can't hear you. Oh, I think you're muted. I'm gonna ask you to unmute.
Sorry, my bad.
No worries.
It would make me feel luxurious.
Yes. Wouldn't it make the flying experience so much better?
Absolutely.
You could get some work done. You could get some sleep in. You could get a movie in. I mean, it's just the world is your oyster with this little bed here looking out, like with LED lighting. I'm just like, yes, please. Right?
Absolutely.
Now, how does this picture make you feel?
Like, I just want to sigh.
Yeah, like I need a fold up chair. I wish
Yeah,
I would have brought a fold up chair and a snack and a bottle of water because I'm going to be here a while,
yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
Okay, and then this one is meant, I should, pretend you're a man walking down there. You don't have to be in this outfit. But for all my ladies watching, imagine you're in Paris or your dream location. And even if you're wearing comfy clothes, like this is, I picked this outfit on purpose. It's like you can be in comfy clothes that still feel luxurious. That's part of why I like Lululemon. It's more casual, but you're still just feeling good, and your shoes are still like they're actually comfortable. Well, I don't know about you, but I didn't grow up with much money. So I never really had more expensive shoes till I was like in my 30s. And the difference of a comfortable pair of shoes, it makes all the difference.
That's one of those things that like you can't go back from once you have
Yeah.
made that transition to the shoe comfort.
100%. Exactly. Another thing you can't. You're like, no, I have to invest in comfortable shoes. Like, I'm throwing everything else out, even if it looks cute. Like, there's a lot of stores you can go to get discount. And this is what we're talking about. Like, you can get a cheap knockoff, but you can never experience comfort with the way that it costs. Comfort costs money, baby. It just does, but it's worth it because then like life is better. And then like also how would it feel like if every night is Netflix compared to getting to travel, or like us, we're performers, go out to a gig, even though it's more energy, you feel like you're walking in your passion and your purpose, right?
Yeah,
If every night is Netflix, and I'm not saying like every day you don't chill out for 30, 40 minutes or an hour, but I'm talking about those people who like, and there's no judgment going on. Sometimes people get in a rut and they're sad. And sometimes I binge something too, but it's like a choice. But like, we're not meant to live watching other people live. We're meant to live.
that
And
is a good
living,
way to put it.
go ahead.
I was just saying that is a great way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. We should write that down and write our song together about that. I'm like, Brandon, please write down the quote. We're all writing a song. Yeah, we're not meant to just spend our lives watching other people live. We are meant to live. And there's absolutely room for entertainment, there's room for storytelling. I love a good song. I love a good movie. I love a good TV show, but not in place of me creating. And the thing we teach our clients is becoming a creator, not just a consumer. So please write that down in the comments. Like, I am a creator, not just a consumer. But most people are spending most of their lives consuming instead of creating. And when you can learn to create and do the thing you're meant to do, and that's what we do here is we take the pressure off. Like if you're not a branding expert or a designer, now is not the time to start. It's just not. What you really should do is make more money or get a loan or get a credit card. Pay people like us to do it for you. We're walking in our passion. We are experts in this. We will help you then make money to live your best life. And then you can reinvest it into your business as you see fit. And that's what we do. Like, you've got to learn how to walk in your lane, in your flow, and to really master your area of mastery. That is how you really make the millions and then the billions and even the six figures. What do you think about that, Wyatt?
Yeah, like if you're focusing your energy into the wrong areas, you're not going to see the results you want.
Right. Okay, now let's look at this beautiful image. I went to a place in Kauai, Hawaii like this, and it was amazing. And it took so much money to get there. I never spent so much money in my life on a hotel. I didn't even, honestly, I wasn't even aware they could be that expensive. I booked 7 nights and it cost me $10,000 for just one room for four of us, but it was right on the ocean. It looked like this. There was a rainbow almost every day, and it was freaking worth it. And let me tell you, I grew up going to Motel 6 with my family. My dad was a preacher. We had almost no money, and it's okay. I'm grateful for my upbringing, and we weren't hungry. And like, I'm grateful. But let me tell you from my experience, and then I'd love you to share. This is so much better to get to actually relax, to get to be served, to get to be like, you know what, we do only live once. I want to feel this.
Yeah, it's great to live in those moments where you truly want to be, you know, feeling those feeling what you're feeling, and
Yeah.
Like,
And I mean, if you're with the wrong people and you have a bad attitude, I understand when people say money can't buy happiness, but like the old saying is like, yeah, well, that's because they never had money. Like, look, you can be a grunt whether you're poor or rich. This isn't about that. We're talking to people who are already working on your mindset. You're choosing gratitude each day, every path of every step of the way, right? I didn't get to go to Kauai till 2 years ago. And then I know people that like they take their kids to Kauai and their kids are getting that experience. Like my kids get that experience.
you
I didn't get that experience.
you can't buy
What?
happiness, but you can buy freedom, which
Yes.
then turns
It
into
really makes you
happiness.
happy.
Yeah,
Yeah. If you're choosing to be happy today, and this is the thing about feeling good, and this is what we want to bring this back to, like, you can do this on a budget, and we're going to give you guys the option, right? Like, people who hire us to do all this is like $50,000 if they want to do all the steps. But that's why we told you guys yesterday that, like, this program we're offering you is only 3,000. So you're getting more than 90% off. We actually will teach you how to brand yourself. We're going to teach you how to do it with systems, with templates, because of tools like Canva, with tools like Go High Level. We can duplicate what we've done. You won't get us one to one doing it for you, but you can get us doing it with you. Kind of like right now, we're educating you because of the power of the internet, because of the power of videos and softwares. We live in an incredible time where all this is possible to any of you. And if you truly don't believe that, you are limiting yourself. There has never been another time in the history of mankind that this higher level, these up here are available to you. And the only reason that you're going to say it's not is because you don't want to do the work to get it done. I will tell you that right now. Like nobody, and now if you don't want it, it's okay not to want it. But I'm telling you, if you want it, you can get it. Right?
right.
He's like, yes. So we're going to show some other examples and wrap it up in about 10 minutes or now. So if you guys have questions, so this, what you're seeing here with brand colors and the ways that different people feel, this is our VIP program. We're, like I said, we take behind the scenes look. This is a 47-page document. The completed one for our clients is 78 pages. And it's not just busy work. This is literally like, do you have a logo? What colors are important to you? We guide you through this process of, okay, maybe you don't have $50,000 to invest for us and our team to do it all for you, but maybe you can get a credit card together or refinance something or sell something out of your garage this week. And we're going to guide you through this process. So we're going to give you a mini version of what that is like. So Wyatt, I know you've done designs for Rolling Stone and these celebrities, and we're going to go talk about is it the American Rejects?
Yeah,
Over here in just a minute. Do you work with other people like I do on their color palettes and on evoking certain emotions using colors?
absolutely. I mean, color is one of those things that just brings your brand to life once you have the design in place.
Yeah,
It can set the tone and just make somebody feel a sense of, peace or like trustworthiness off the bat, depending on what brand messaging you're going for.
absolutely. So will you take us through when you did the branding for this website and their e-commerce store for the All American Rejects? Like what were the conversations being had or what was the process you went through? As you guys can see, like different people have different brands, right? And they want to portray different feelings and emotions, and that's okay. We're all different. And that's what's exciting about working with branding strategists and web developers because we can like come in there. So yeah, will you share like kind of the process and if you tell me where to click around, I'll click around.
Totally. So when building this site, the thing that we really tried to incorporate was just a sense of consistency across the brand and
Mhm.
just really pulling all together those little elements that make that attention to detail feel like it was something that was, on purpose.
Right. I
Um,
love that. I love how you put, the videos here because I've built a lot of music websites also, and also the music. There's a tour going on. And is there like a reason, like, let's say it's for entrepreneurs too? Like, is there, when we work with our entrepreneur clients, like an order of which things you're sharing as the page goes down?
it really depends on what you're marketing or what you're trying to sell or what you're trying to promote. But I would say it really, yeah, it's on a case by case basis for that
It
sort of
is.
thing. But
Yeah.
across the board, I would say the best advice that I can give, and which relates to an artistic standpoint as well, is that even if you don't have a large audience, your brand should be performing as if you do.
Yes. I say
You-
that all the time. I say, like, pretend like a million people are watching, and one day they will be.
absolutely. And
As a
I
performer, do they also, like, teach you I know we've not had too many conversations yet about music and performing. It's the same thing, like, I don't know if I talked about it yesterday or if it was, like, last week on our team calls, like, you need to pretend like even if you're at a coffee shop, you should still be putting your whole heart into it as if it was sold out to 100,000 people.
100%. And that's a messaging that I feel like everybody should take in their own brands, no matter what it is. It doesn't have to
Yep,
be, music related or art related.
right.
You should be taking yourself, as seriously as you want
Others to
anybody
take you.
watching to take you. Exactly.
That's a great point. When I've done rebranding for clients, they say, wow, I'm like really proud. Like, I want to get it on my, well, that's this side. This is Seven Figure Club. I want to get a hat now. I want to have a shirt now. Like, even these people, I think it creates a sense of ownership. When you're
Um,
proud of your brand and your logo and your colors and your messaging, it creates that ownership. And I was going to show them, like, we all know Tiffany. And the reason I like to bring this up is they're like this timeless kind of brand. They've been around a long time. They have a ton of clout in the industry, but that's because through all this time, they have been consistent. They do not give sales, they do not give discounts, and their logo has never changed. Their color palette has never changed. And so, what about the consistency with branding, Wyatt? When you see people like do a post and they've changed their logo font for their name. And when we say like name, we don't just mean band names, brand names. We need your name. Like, so Tiana Smith, if I go to my website, this doesn't change. The Seven Figure Club logo doesn't change. So what are your thoughts on like when you see people changing post by post?
I mean, me as a designer, it kills me when I see that.
I know, me too.
But consistency across your brand through all channels just adds credibility. It
Yeah,
adds trustworthiness, and if you, I don't know if everybody's, you know, I don't attention to detail matters, and
yeah,
some people don't fully see that. But I promise you, the people looking at your accounts and your
they
channels and
do.
everything, they do care, even if it's subconsciously.
It's
They know.
subconscious mostly, right? Because they're probably like, if you're an entrepreneur and you're learning these skills, a consumer probably isn't like that. They're just like, oh, I'm not clicking on that, right?
Yeah.
Because they're like, no,
But
like it's just a no.
subconsciously, there are reasons why they're not clicking on that.
Mhm.
That the person selling whatever they're selling might not even know.
Yeah. And what would you say would be like I know what I would say would be like the things that help build trust as far as the brand. I'll say what mine are and I'd love you to add to it like a consistent logo, like the same fonts, the same size text even on like we've been building these landing pages for clients. It's those little details that like when somebody comes here they're like, "Okay, there's name recognition, there's face recognition, there's fonts, the same words are used. What would you say builds that trust very quickly?
Phrasing, like you said, logos, fonts, just everything that establishes your overall brand is going to
Yeah.
add to that sense of trustworthiness.
Chris Do, back to him, he's like a top person. I like to you like we build lots of brands, but then sometimes it's like I consider it like if I got paid to do a music gig, you still throw in a couple covers because what cover songs do is they help somebody relate to you if they've never heard of you before. So maybe you guys are new to me, Tiana, you're new to Wyatt on in the Seven Figure Club, but you might have heard of Chris Do or Alex Ramosi or Tony Robbins, right? So any of these people, if you go to their brand, right, and you go here, you can see his image is the same here. So I want to draw out some things that you can work on today to do. You need to make sure that no matter where somebody finds you, your name and the image you're using is the same. So that's one step.
And also just making sure that every place that your brand imaging is seen, it needs to look like format wise the way these do. Like you can't
Yeah.
have your forehead cut off and things like stuff
Right.
like that really does matter.
It really does matter. And
Like
so does the text on here. Like, notice, like, this might get cut off if you're on the phone. I actually
that's a
do
great
try.
example right there.
But this one, for example, the one I did, this is not cut off, and I actually redid it a number of times so that it fits on a desktop and on a phone,
It's
right?
little things that people don't normally even think about that
Right.
matter.
And it really matters because then any of so here's the other thing people need to realize. People who have money to spend on 2,000, 3,000 on a bag, on a bracelet, or 10,000, those are your buyers. For all of you out there watching this who want to do those VIP days where you charge $5,000 in person, you need to give people an experience. Wyatt mentioned this is an experience. So the difference with brands is that you feel something. If I say yay, or I say Kanye, or I say Kardashian, or I say Taylor Swift, people, you're going to have a guttural reaction. Donald Trump, either way, whether you like them or hate them. And I don't like to say hate because I don't hate people, but some people do. And so whether you like their branding or not, you feel something. Everybody likes Tiffany because everybody, even if you love it, it's fancy, it's cool. And if you go to their Instagram, also these celebrities, what we want to talk about is the reason that they can get big companies is because they built their clout first. I want to talk about this for a moment with you, Wyatt. You need to choose one area you're really good at and get to seven figures, and then you can get endorsement deals. Like, well, with Tiffany, you'd really need to be a huge celebrity. But let's say a smaller endorsement deal. Let's say it's a Athleta deal or a Lululemon or things like that. You still need to have so much clout in your own personal brand that people know who you are and what you stand for and what you don't stand for. So then it goes beyond your logo, your colors, your messaging. You are now something that people either they know who you are, what you like, what you dislike, and that's powerful.
They need to know what you're all about.
Yeah. Like if I see Pharrell Williams, I think of the song Happy, but I think about his time on The Voice and I think about like he's super stylish. So you see him here. There's certain faces on here like this lady, she's been pretty cool, but she got famous being a famous actress, right? And now they have stylists who come around and but they have that brand. But I wouldn't say she has a strong personal brand. I don't really know much about her. I would say Pharrell has more of a strong personal brand. I would say J Lo at the top has a strong personal brand. Like she shares about her life, she shares about her divorces, she shares about her husband, she shares about her dance career. Like she's very like Chris Doe did a cool video about like personal brand versus just a brand. Like there's some people maybe they're famous, but do they have a personal brand? Not everybody does.
Yeah, you're right.
So we're building real personal brands here with our clients where people will actually have that emotional connection to you whether they like it or don't like it. Like it's being okay that like people may not be okay with you, but at least they know who you are. You know?
They can
And
get a clear picture of what you're about just from.
yep. And it starts though with a logo, with colors, with fonts, and with images. So immediately they can get the vibe, and then we go from there. But we're never going to get to the personal brand, to the endorsements, if you guys don't invest first. Let me break it down for you even further. Nowadays, to get a record deal, to get a publishing deal for your book, you usually have to have at least 1 million followers online and 100,000 people on your email list to get any deals nowadays. This is not just about musicians or authors. This also goes for any entrepreneur who's looking for a collaboration to get on a famous podcast. Same thing. You know what they're going to ask you, and everybody should really write this down. How big is your social media following? How big is your list? How many things have you sold and for how much? That's the 4 questions they're going to ask you. And so you are not going to have a foot in the door if you don't have any of those things. So the first thing we want to help you build is your audience. And tomorrow we're going to be talking with Brandon, my Facebook ads and traffic conversion specialist Brandon on here. But we have to start when we work with a team, we first start with me and Wyatt going through their brand idea. Like we need the visuals first because we can't even build a funnel or a website to drive paid traffic to if we don't know what your brand is, what you stand for. So we also have a copywriter. What are your what's been your experience too, Wyatt, with music or with creating or with money in the branding field? Like brand is everything.
Yeah, what was your question again? I'm sorry.
Well, just like, have you also had a similar experience with like getting deals or getting gigs and people are asking, what is your follower? How many people can you bring in the room? Like you
Oh
have to
yeah,
bring it to the table.
exactly. People this day and age, people are expecting you to do the groundwork, really.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
they want to see how far you can get on your own before they're willing to put their name on it. And that's just the way it is these days.
Think about Shark Tank just came to mind when you said it like that. Like the sharks don't get on board unless you've already had sales, your brand is already there, and you already have proof of like it's not where you're like, "Oh, this lawyer says my company is worth that." They laugh at that. It's not about that. You need numbers. You need lists, you need sales, and you need a brand. And all of you out there, if you're not willing to invest in your own self, and listen, it costs money. If you were going to go open up a storefront, like my friend did, I've helped people start their stores, and it's costing a minimum of 100 to 200K. And if you want to get a franchise with somebody, same thing. The cool thing with online is you can get started for less, but you're still talking tens of thousands of dollars. If you need it ground up, that's where we're offering this course where like, okay, for 3,000, but what you should be doing is getting your systems in place so then you can reinvest it into your business because you need to invest in order to help take this off. What's your experience with it, Wyatt?
Yeah, I feel like just having everything in place and having the systems and everything is just like having, your backbone. It
Yeah.
it, everything else falls around that. And once you have a place to start,
Yeah.
the sky's the limit, you know. Um,
Yeah. And I didn't know all this when I first started. So why I'm saying this to you guys like very matter of factly is it is the truth. And it actually has gotten more like because all these people are online in all the capacities, right? Because and then since COVID, where so many people like moved out of their jobs, they're like, well, maybe I could coach or consult or create a course. And you can. And there is room for all of us. So this isn't about that. But how do you stand out when everybody's getting online? One is, and we talk about this with our team, excellence. And excellence means an attention to detail. Let's start with your brand. It is what it looks like. That's the first 2 seconds, right? Would you agree with that? Like it's the first
Absolutely.
step is excellence and putting your best foot forward.
You know how many times I come across ads from people selling courses or just doing whatever they do, and I'm immediately turned off just by their messaging or their formatting or and I mean that might be the designer in me, but I feel like the general population tunes into that as well.
Well, yeah, because we're also, when you talked about we're in competition for attention, if you see an Avengers or a Disney ad at the same time, their graphics are so freaking amazing. Like, people, you need to understand, like, it needs to be at that level. It does. And so, if you don't know how to do that, and most people don't, in fact, most designers I've ever worked with don't, like Wyatt's on my team because he's as good and then better at me in certain areas. And I'm proud to say that because he's amazing. And I wouldn't want people on my team who can't match or exceed what I can do. And I've been in this industry a very long time. And like you have to be an artist as well as a marketer to do this kind of work. Like it's not just artistry and throwing some, and it could look cool, but it needs to be very clear messaging. So I would say like the first step is like that attention and understanding that like if you don't have that eye, then not everybody does. Not even everybody who says, "Oh, I'm a funnel builder, I'm a designer." No, you're not. If
Yeah.
you can't actually show us that you've done it and gotten results for your clients, that's not an okay claim. That's like saying I'm a professional musician and I can't even play in time and I've never had a paid gig. So this is where
Unfortunately, there is a lot of people who do that.
yes.
Fake it till they make it, and just try, but it doesn't work and it doesn't drive results.
It doesn't drive results. So, one thing I've learned about people who really make 6 and 7 figures that I've personally worked with and mentored is the ones who do that put full faith and trust when they've made the decision to hire a team, whether it's us or if they've hired other people, they let them do their job. So, let's give people like some action steps. The second part is those who've started on a shoestring budget, like me, just so everybody knows, like me, I did too. Was I said, okay, I don't have the money to pay the experts yet. So at the time, I did hire designers before I became a designer. So in my early 20s, I had this designer I worked with. And I ended up going to design school because I was having to hire him so much. I was like, I need to just learn how to design better. And I invested in college courses after in between my bachelor's and master's degree, just separate college college courses, even with a newborn baby, to go learn skills because I realized that it was like delaying my progress in my career and my monetary gain to do that. Did you have a similar thing of how you learned design, or it was like how did you learn design?
Yeah, honestly, I was in a band, and it got to a point where we were paying people to do our designs, and I starting doing design at probably like 15 or 16 years old, but
Yep.
it flourished into something because of the fact that I needed a designer.
Yep. That me and Wyatt are new to we've been in touch for almost a year, and I was going to hire him some music videos, and then I ended up just hiring him for my full-on team because he's just so talented at videos, at design, at websites. And I didn't know his origin story. Mine also, because like when you're designing, you're having to do album covers and posters and postcards. And anybody who like this is why Canva is such a game changer for everybody, because everybody does need to design, and before Canva came around, I use Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop. If a client even had one tiny edit, I would have to open the file and move it around. And so now for our clients, we put their whole brand kit into Canva. And so if you have an edit, we give you the Facebook header, you go ahead and make that edit. It helps everybody.
It really is designed for everyone. I think that's their slogan or whatever, but it's
Yeah.
true.
In our clients, I want to share with everybody really quick, like a little tidbit. We're going to be telling you guys more about the course later this week. But if I come over here to Canva, I want to share with you what you get like when you join the course that we're going to be launching on Friday with all of you. We actually created an entire folder of it's called Automate to Dominate, and it's all the different let me try and find it really quick. I'm like, where is it? Let's see if I can find it. Obviously, I was like, I was so prepared. I had all these things up here and I didn't have that one. So you can see I have a ton of folders here in Canvas because I definitely believe in like organization, but I have so many folders. I'm looking for the A2D one. Let me go see. Okay, ATD funnel images. I found it. Okay, it's a miracle. All these images are custom designed. And for any of you who've been playing in Canva, which is most people, even if you have Canva, it can take time to figure it out. So what we've done through the program, we'll be talking to you about it more, is like we've given you 33 logo templates to start with, as well as done video trainings on how to do it. So it's the next best thing to having us do it for you. So, like I said, if you're on a shoestring budget, we've created templates in here with sizings that also match our funnels. And we actually will be giving you our funnel templates, our highest converting one. This funnel template right now is actually, we're running ads to it for one of my offers. It's converting at almost 60%. So, if anybody knows what that means, this is not just about design aesthetics, friends. You also need to have a way to convert cold leads into sold leads. Like, what are your thoughts on all this, Wyatt? Like helping people get these templates so that like if they only have a $2,000, $3,000, they could still get started.
It's still so beneficial because it takes away the question mark of what do I need, what size is this, what messaging, once you
Yeah.
have your, as you were saying earlier, once you have your brand kit and everything in place and you have your templates, it's not a guessing game anymore.
Right. Should we show them like brand kits so people know what we're talking about? Because I think sometimes I try not to assume anything. And let's show them like what that can look like. So in Canva, the thing we also teach people how to set up, and if you guys don't have this already, it's really important, are brand kits. And what a lot of people don't realize is there's a lot of pieces to the brand kits, like watermarks and logos and color palettes and fonts, and even buying custom fonts and then uploading different brand voices and pictures. So we help everybody get those pieces set up when we do it for them. But even if you're doing it yourself alongside us with training, we're going to walk you through that process step by step. And we even audit it for you because we're cool like that, because we really want to see you succeed. And if we're like, you really should try some different fonts and colors, we're going to give you that feedback in the program. So what would you say, let's wrap this up, would be like some great next steps for them to like self audit? We do have an audit checklist for everybody. That's one of our free things we're offering this week was we have a website and a social media audit checklist. And we're even offering our $250 audits where we will go through your landing pages, your websites. We're offering it for free this week. So put in the comments if you want an audit or a review, say audit, AUDIT, and me or Wyatt or Brandon or Preston on our team, we will send you the link where we will give you this whole checklist so you can start to self audit your online presence to take some next steps. What else can they do?
I would say look at people who inspire you. You know, look
Yeah.
at their brand messaging, look at their website, and aspire to be that.
Yeah. That's great advice. I definitely teach that. I love that you're here and like saying these. It's hard as one person to remember everything on calls. That's the number one thing. Actually, when we do our design and branding quiz over here, which we have for our VIP clients and those who join our program, we do have a whole quiz, and that's one of the things that we put on here. Do you have a website? What other websites do you like? What kind of Instagram handles? When I was building my design thing, that's what I did. Why even now to this day, I like have three top people I love to watch, and I'm so inspired by them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, well, thank you, Wyatt, for joining today. Let's all hear for Wyatt. Put some applause emojis down in the comments. He's
Thank
so
you for having
brilliant.
me.
Sorry.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So on our team, just so everybody knows, so here's your next steps. Tomorrow we're going to be back at the same time. We're going to be talking traffic and funnels and how do you grow an audience. And Brandon's going to be on the call, who is my personal Facebook ads expert, funnel strategist. He's so nice. He's so brilliant.
Thank you.
Wyatt, isn't he so fun? He's so great. Wyatt's working on video marketing, design, funnels, just truly a genius. Like he was really a genius. I can spot geniuses. And then on Thursday, Preston's coming. They really are all geniuses. And I don't just throw that out. It's because like I have my dream team and we're all on this team together. And it's not just to support me and Tiana and the business. This is called the 7-figure club because most people we work with, they want to get to 6 figures. And once they get to 6 figures, they want to get to 7 figures. Because when you have financial freedom, you have time freedom, and you can then hire out things that you don't want to be doing or somebody can do better, and you can grow your impact to change this world for the better through your passion. It means that you have the time and money to spend on yourself, to spend on your team, to spend on your family, and that you get to just spend your time doing what you love, whether it's fun time or work time. I love my work. Do you love your work?
I love my work.
I love my work. And I love fun time, but like if you don't have a way in a system to monetize your gifts the way that you really can be, you're missing out on living the life that you were meant to live. And we want to help you. So comment below if you freedom. If you want to talk to one of us about your freedom business, and comment audit if you want the checklist and a free audit from us this week only. It's usually $250. It's free this week. We're waiving the fee for boot camp members. So we'll see you guys soon. Thank you again, Wyatt. Comment below. We will be in touch with you. And here's to all our freedom, and we'll see you again tomorrow.